morning, afternoon, and or evening, YouTube, and welcome to the Official Gamer's first ever podcast. Now is the podcast of life itself. No, I'm not gonna be weird, or am I? I'm always weird. I can't stop it. No. I just kind of want to do a podcast and talk about certain things that have been going on in my life and for a while now, and kind of how it has impact on me and making content, and just how it's been a bit of a struggle for a while. Nothing too crazy, nothing too lighthearted either. Just a podcast, just trying different things out. But for about 2 years now, it's been about 2 years. I've been really sick on and off. I I got really sick, kind of out of nowhere. Kind of big surprise, something I'm not used to. I've always been very, very healthy. I've never really ever had any real illnesses before, and I never had to go to the doctor too much unless I was had a really bad cold or something. So it's all quite different. But I've recently been diagnosed with ulcerative colonitis and irritable bowel syndrome on top of it, kind of like double whammy. And it sucks. And ulcerative colitis is an immune disease that affects my stomach and my bowels. They told me my immune system sees my stomach lining as as a foreign object, and so it attacks it. And as you can imagine, that causes me all sorts of problems, discomfort in my stomach, pain, abdominal pain, vomiting, nausea, diarrhea, stuff like that. And I have irritable bowel syndrome, so just eating something that doesn't agree with me one day could, be problematic. Have me feeling pretty shitty and pretty sick, all day. But yeah, it started about 2 years ago. I was waking up and I would throw up. Every time I woke up in the morning, I just get up and I'd have to throw up. Sometimes it was a lot, sometimes it was a little. It really sucked. I'm just thinking back to it. But it went on for a while, and no one knew why. It was I wake up and I throw up. And back then I had a really bad acid reflux. So heartburn all the time, and just a lot of pain and discomfort, and stomach acid and coughing up. And I'm a gassy person naturally. I've always been gassy, but now I'm now I think I have a reason for it. I have a few conditions that kind of bother my stomach to make me gassy. Yeah, I get a drink. But so yeah. No, always been gassy, and it started 2 years ago. Throwing up. So I went to the doctor, and they did an endoscope. They took a scope, put it down my throat to see what was going on, and they realized that my throat was inflamed, and that the part that, my throat was inflamed, so the part that was all messed up basically was running down into my stomach. And that wasn't sitting right because it was all nasty infection, inflamed stuff. And that was making me throw up. So I'd go to sleep and, it'd trickle down into my stomach and then mess with my stomach acid. And then in the morning when I woke up, I'd feel awful and I'd have to throw up. Excuse me. So this led to I need to get more tests and more tests. A lot of tests I had to get done, and a lot of blood work. I was supposed to get another test done for my gallbladder, and it was coming around the time, and COVID was hitting hard, so everything was limited, and you didn't really want to be in a hospital if you didn't have to be, so it kind of got pushed back, and then pushed back for a while, and then when it finally came time to go do the gallbladder procedures and stuff, the hospital stopped accepting my insurance, so I had to go and get all that straightened out. We had to figure out what to do, and I had to switch insurance completely, and it took, you can imagine, it took a lot of time. I had to cancel insurance, switch to another insurance, get approved, all that good stuff. So it took a while, and the whole time, like, it was like waiting and just waiting and waiting, and here's some medicine, for your throat that I've been taking for a long time now, and I still take it because it does help reduce stomach acid. But here's some medicine, and sorry you feel like shit, but you gotta wait because of insurance and COVID too. Like, hard to get in, and now we're not accepting insurance, so just waiting and waiting. A lot of days of feeling sick and throwing up. Uh, and I never used to eat very good. I used to eat a lot of junk food, just kind of whenever I felt like it. I still don't eat as well, but I eat a little bit better. I gotta watch what I'm eating now. But when I finally got in, I finally got new insurance and got accepted and got in to my gallbladder appointment. And they put me in a machine and had me drink a protein shake. And they wanted to monitor how the food, like the protein shake, was supposed to simulate a meal. They wanted to monitor how it would travel through my bowels. So they put me in this big round machine, kind of like a CAT scan. And but there's these big boards that like moved and separated, and they rotated, and they put it like right up against where my gallbladder was, and I had to lay there for an hour, a whole hour while like this food digested or the protein shake digested, and my side used to always hurt too where my gallbladder was. So eventually they figured that's probably what it was. So that's why they wanted to check it. So they found out after that procedure, after that was all done, they found out that my gallbladder was functioning at 16%. Um, and it was supposed to be, I don't remember, way more than that though. Someone my age, I'm not that old, like it, way more, not 16%. So he's like, hey, we got to take your gallbladder out. And it needs to go. It's not doing anything for you at this moment. And it's like, okay, so here comes surgery. First surgery I've ever had. Uh, so, a little nervous, and, you got to get blood work and stuff like that. And you got to do a whole bunch of prep work. And, shit, I don't even remember when it was. But I did get my gallbladder taken out. And, my surgeon, he was like, it's a real simple procedure. We do it all the time. A lot of people have the same problem. Put you under anesthesia, make like 4 holes in you, pull it out, basically wrap it up, put it in a bag and pull it out of you, and then, stitch you back up. And you'll be good to go in, a few days, few weeks or so. It'll heal up and stuff. He told me at the time, though, that it might not be a cure-all. Like, he's like, we're going to do this. It needs to come out. But he's like, you still could have issues with your stomach. He's like, it might not be the perfect fix. So, excuse me. So I got the gallbladder out. And I was recovering. I remember, he said it wasn't going to be a cure-all. And it did make 4 holes. I got like 3 little holes on my side and then 1 in my belly button. And they use the stitches that pretty much just heal with you, and they like fall out when they're done. And everything healed really okay. I was in pain for a little bit, and they cut me open. But I healed up really good, and I only have tiny little itty bitty scars. Sometimes I think they hurt, but I'm pretty sure it's just like my imagination. But yeah, it all healed up pretty good, and ever since I've had my gallbladder out, I do feel a lot better, and I do not have any heartburn at all. Like I never have heartburn anymore, and I used to have it all the time, and bad, really, really bad, and indigestion, just like your throat burning. I don't ever have that feeling anymore, and I love it. I was like, and I told my gastro doctor, I'm like, I don't have any acid reflux or anything like that anymore. He's like, really? I was like, yeah. I was like, I don't feel none of that. And he's like, that's great. He's like, yes, it is. Like, because it's not fun. It's a terrible feeling. Hold on, I'm gonna drink of water. Excuse me. So, I had my gallbladder out, and I was doing better, and I'm still taking quite a bit of medicine, but a little while after having my gallbladder out, I was still having issues. My stomach still hurt, and I think I was still throwing up. And in the past too, before my gallbladder out and after I got my gallbladder out, uh, I would get into like these fits of dehydration where I was just throwing up consistently, like, and I couldn't stop. Excuse me, I would throw up so hard and so much it'd get to a point of like I was throwing up bile and it was burning, inside of my throat. And I'd have to go to the hospital, and they'd hook me up with IVs and pump, medicine and nausea medicine in me and liquids, fluids, all that. Excuse me, good stuff. They get me better. And I mean, but this happened quite a lot. I think before the gallbladder, it happened like 3 times where I was just so sick and I couldn't do anything and I couldn't eat anything. And I had to go to the hospital and get nutrients and like, just all day in the hospital waiting and then getting hooked up and like waiting hours for the IV to go through. It was not a good time. And then even afterwards, I still had to do that. And my last really bad fit, I was ooh. I so while those fits happen, I can't eat nothing, and it was like visible. I lost a lot of weight, really, really fast, and I'm like not in a healthy way, not at all. And it was visible too. Like my friends and my family were noticing. They're like, "You look skinny. You look really skinny. Have you lost weight?" And I'm like, "Yes." Like I've lost a lot of weight, and it's because I'm not eating. And it's not like, oh, I'm dieting or I don't want to eat. No, I can't eat because if I do, I throw up. And it got so bad to the point there's 2 times where it was really, really awful, where I didn't eat for about like 10 days. I didn't eat anything. And the first time I was like kind of eating, like towards the end, I kind of ate like some popsicles and some like crackers. And I was drinking water and stuff. Excuse me. And that was a little bit better. And I remember I ate some noodles or something. I think it was like a lot of noodles because I was so fucking hungry, and I hadn't eaten like 10 days. Uh, so I like downed these noodles, and they had some kind of sauce on them. They might have been Alfredo. I'm not sure. And I just remember like sitting there, and I felt good, and I felt fine, and I was like, "This is, I feel great." And then, like, not even an hour, it was maybe an hour later, and my stomach just started hurting so bad, so bad, and I had to throw up. And I mean, I threw up so hard, and I threw up everything, all the noodles that I ate, and it just like came out like a river. Like it just kept coming, and I couldn't stop. And I've never thrown up that hard before or again. Like that was the worst, and it hurt my stomach and my throat. I mean, you can imagine. Uh, and then I got better after that. Went to the hospital, got better. Slowly started eating solid food, and then I kind of gained my weight back. So I was looking more normal. Still a little chunky, I'm still a little chunky, but I was doing all right. And then, like I said, I just kind of had different fits of this, and there was another time, it was after the gallbladder, far after, and I thought I was doing a lot better, that I just, what happened? I threw up so hard. uh, Again, and it was getting to the point where I wasn't eating again. I couldn't eat nothing. And I think even after I went to the hospital, I still wasn't really eating that much. Uh, and my go-to was like water. Couldn't really drink the water. I was still throwing up, and like couldn't eat any of the popsicles. Ooh, excuse me. And I was throwing up. Couldn't I couldn't get anything down, and I lost a shit ton of weight again. Like it was ridiculous how fast I lost that weight, and people were noticing again. Like, and I noticed. I was like, oh man, like I've really dropped some pounds, and but so since I think I lost my train of thought. So that's kind of happened throughout. Me getting sick, dehydrated, throwing up so much, having to go to the hospital, getting IVs. That's kind of what's been happening throughout this sickness. A lot of throwing up and a lot of dehydration. And, they thought it was my gallbladder was the main issue. That's what they thought. They thought that was the main problem. And it turned out that it wasn't, because I was still having all the pain and issues. So I went back to the gastro doctor, and I had I think I had 2 different gastro doctors during this whole thing. Like, I had one doctor do the initial endoscopy, and then after that, he disappeared, and I had a whole nother doctor. And that's just, American health system. You need insurance, your doctor's gonna change, you need referrals, you need all that shit. You know how it goes. And if you don't, it costs a whole bunch of money. Oh, I do remember not having the insurance and asking about the gallbladder procedure, how much it was going to cost, and it was like $4,000 out of pocket or something like that. And it's like, okay, we'll be seeing you when I actually find some insurance. So see you later. But that was all resolved. So I went to I went back to the doctor, and he suggested we do a colonoscopy, and camera went down my throat with the endoscopy, colonoscopy. Camera's going up my colon. So, yay, fun. And I was worried because if you ever know someone who's had it done, you got to have that prep work. And you either got to usually you got to drink big ass bottles of this nasty ass liquid, and, hope you don't throw up. And then it makes you go to the bathroom all night so that you're nice and clean and cleared out when they go up and look and see what's wrong. Very fun, like I said. So so my insurance didn't want to cover the liquid stuff. So they're like, we're trying this thing is like pills. You gotta take these pills, and it does the same thing. It's just your insurance would cover it because it's cheaper and all that. Blah blah blah. Here you go. And I'm like, you're gonna be up all night with diarrhea and stuff. That's natural. So it was like 12 fucking pills. And they were big too. They weren't like super huge, but they were big enough. And you had to take them, and you had to take 6 at a time, and then like wait an hour and take 6 more. And it was going to make you go to the bathroom all night. And I took the first batch when I was supposed to, kind of around, I think, like 12 or something like that. And, drunk the water, all that, took the batch, and, started going in the bathroom. Hit me at like 1. I had to go really, really bad, nonstop. And I was like, okay, this is how the night's going to go. And then it came time for the second batch, and I took those, and I fucking started throwing up so bad again. Like the last time I've done it, I think. And I threw up so hard, and they said it could happen, like, it could have made me nauseous and stuff. But I threw up from, like, fucking, like, 2 in the morning to, like, 6 in the morning when I went in to get the colonoscopy procedure. And then when I went in, I told them how sick I was and that I was dehydrated, and they hooked me up to IVs, and they're like, well, was your bowel movements clear and stuff? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, all right, well, we could proceed. And they hooked me up with IVs, and then put me under the gas, and did their thing. Stuck the pipe up my ass, or camera I should say. And then that's when I found out, after a while, they got the results, and they're like, you have ulcerative colitis and irritable bowel syndrome. And we talked about different diets, about what to eat, and different things we could try medicine, of course. And also it's kind of crazy. It runs in my family because my mom has ulcerative colitis as well, so it's kind of like you got it too. But I have talked to my doctor recently, and he said it's a mild case. He said it's really not as severe. He's like, it sucks, but it's not horrible. And I lost my train of thought. So I started taking this medicine, started taking extra medicine, take about this one type twice a day, and another type of medicine about 3 times a day. And if I don't take my medicine, I feel like shit. I feel it. And I'm trying to watch more of what I eat. I still eat too much junk food, but I try not to eat so much fast food and, greasy food and fried foods and stuff like that. And dairy, I can't eat dairy anymore. It kind of sucks because I love ice cream. If I do eat dairy, I gotta eat a very small amount of it. Just not too much, or else it'll be a bad time, bad day. But I've been taking the pills for a while, and I saw my doctor recently, and he said the pills were working. And it's really good that they're working, because he said I had 2 options: take this medicine, see how how I do in 3 months. Or, and it, like, if they found out I wasn't doing well, he would have had me come in quite often and get IVs, like how I was sick when I was throwing up and getting that. Uh, Getting IVs, or I could get shots in my arm, I think, like 3 times a month. And I was like, ah, shit. Like, I don't really want to do that. And I don't think too many people would. Um, but so, I was like, well, let's just keep trying the medicine because, I mean, I'm feeling okay. And the first time I went and see him, I was feeling like shit. I was super sick. And he's like, we're going to try this and we're going to take blood and see how it looks and all that. And that went pretty well. And I got better, is my thing. I got better. And I went to see him the second time, and he's like, just by looking at you, you look better. Your eyes are more alert. He's like, you look healthier. You look like you got more weight on you. And I was like, ooh, oh, well, thank you. Like, that's good to hear. Like, I'm looking better. And he saw my blood work, and he's like, you're doing way better as well. Everything's looking good. I was like, awesome. He's like, we're just going to continue treatment. I was like, that sounds good, So I have a appointment with him tomorrow, actually. And I've been on the medicine for a long time now. We're gonna see. He'll probably tell me how I'm doing. I had blood work done not long ago. I'm sure he's just gonna tell me that hopefully I'm doing good. I got a little bit sick here recently, but I was eating a lot of dairy stuff I shouldn't have been eating, so I was feeling kind of shitty. But I'm starting to do better. And and I got my COVID shot. And if you haven't, you should too. No, I'm just no politics, no politics, no politics. But yeah, that's just kind of my story, and all this sickness and stuff really has impacted me and my life. Of course, got to make different changes, got to eat different, watch how I'm eating. I need to start exercising, and I want to make videos and content for YouTube. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it, But being sick and stuff was definitely stopping me from doing it for a while and causing me to take months and months at a time to make videos and make content. This is because I'm sick. And, it's hard trying to balance things in life and find the time to do, what you want to do in your hobbies. I don't know. I guess all I'm saying is, I'm doing my best. I'm keep making content for y'all. I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you do enjoy it, give a thumbs up and subscribe. And life changes. You may be really healthy one day, and the next day you could be sick as a dog. Comes at you fast. You never really know what's gonna happen. I never thought I'd be sick. I was always super healthy, and then here I am with the disease, and I may get better from it, or I may have it for the rest of my life. Change. It's inevitable, and it's not always a bad thing. It's usually really, really hard, but it's not always a bad thing. So yeah, sometimes things change and you just gotta deal with it. There's not much you could do. Sometimes it's for the better, and usually, and if it's not for the better, it'll get better. It might take a while, but it will. In this Official Gamer podcast, thank you so much for listening. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, stay safe. Peace.